Okay, my name's Joanne Cornell, and I'm from Rose's Creations. If cremation and ashes of cremation and using it in some kind of jewelry or item, it creeps you out or something, do me a favor. Just keep your negative comments to yourself. Some people like the idea of being able to have their loved ones with them, so in a jewelry piece, or even if it sits on a shelf and it's there so that they can see it, remind them and make them smile about the person or the pet that they own, their loved one, is a good thing. It's good therapy for some people. Some people, you know, wouldn't want that. They want the person passed away to be buried and not have them there. I don't know, you know, but I like the idea of cremation, and I like the idea of having something to memorialize them. So what I'm going to do is be doing jewelry and items out of resin, where I can take and put the people's ashes, people or pets' ashes in it, and incorporate it in it. You can have it so the ashes you'll see the ashes, or you can have it so it's going to be disguised, so only you pretty much know it's there, but it's there. I'm going to be making rings. I'm going to be making pendants and bracelets, and then having that as a piece so you can have a little gemstone on it that's going to be made out of the resin. I'm also going to be doing some, later on, I'm going to be doing some fusing of glass. So I'm going to be taking a piece of glass and then putting ashes in the middle of it, and then put another piece of glass on it and then fusing it together so that it'll be encapsulated in there. It's sort of like carrying your own little urn around, but the ashes aren't going to be loose. They'll be in a solid state, so that way you're not going to lose any of the ashes either. So I did try to do a ring, and it kind of failed. It leaked because I didn't have a good... I have the backing of this thing. It's not metal plate, total metal plate. It used to have a stone in the darn thing, and what happened is that the stone fell out, and so what I did is put epoxy in here, but I just put tape on there because I was thinking that the tape would be good enough in order to make it so it didn't leak. But I think what happens is that I didn't make this ring. This ring was already made, so I think between the bezel there, they didn't solder all the way around. So it's not a solid cup like I thought it was So when I put the tape on the bottom, which is just to hold I put the tape on the bottom just to hold the hole closed, because there's a little hole so you can see the light. That was going to be good enough, but it started leaking out the sides. So that was a failure. So I'm going to figure that out. The rings I'm going to be making are going to be solid cups, so when I put a solid cup, I'm going to put the liquid in there, and it'll be fine. But with this one, this ring was broken. I liked the ring. I didn't want to replace, I was going to replace it with the stone, but I decided to do the cremation instead. So I will be doing that again. Actually, when this epoxy dries, it's going to give me my base now because it's not leaking through it anymore. So then when I pour some more in there, it'll be fine, I think. I also made a bunch of other different pieces, and the reason I made the other different pieces because I didn't know how much resin was going to be into this die holder. And so I did more than what I was supposed to do in order to get it to do its thing. Okay, things that I learned. First of all, I don't like wearing gloves, but wear gloves, okay? That is the best advice I can tell you, because right now, even after I washed my hands and everything else, they feel really sticky. And I did wash them with soap and water like 5 or 6 times already, and they still feel like a sticky residue type thing. It'll probably take a couple of days to go away. Even if I put lotion on my hands right now, it's not going to do me any damn good. I did put soapy water on my hands, and I left some of the soapy part of it on my hands so that we keep it away from there, but that didn't work. Things that I had to buy. I had to buy the molds. So the die mold was like 20 bucks. The different shaped molds here are, I think it was like 15 or 16. It was definitely under 20 bucks. I can put the right prices later. You can look them up on Amazon anyways. I had to get a coloring kit, so I got the coloring kit. And I got all these things from Amazon. So that's the coloring kit that I got. It's 36 colors. And I put them in here. And I put them upside down so I know what I can see what colors they are from upside down, and then decide, like, if I want blue, I can look for all the blues and then figure out which color I really want to use or not. And then I put in a cigar box because I'm going to take these molds and I'm going to put them on this side, so that's going to take that. It's going to be a holder. I bought glitter. Yeah, I think it was under 10. Of course, I have my pet's ashes, which when you send me, send me or give me the ashes, you can do it in a plastic bag, or you can you can give me the whole urn. If you don't want to touch any of the ashes and you feel creepy about actually touching the ashes and stuff, you can give me the whole urn. And what I'll do is take it home. I'll open up the bag. First of all, I'm gonna bless it, because that's what I do. I mean, I'm not gonna, because I want to be respectful. And then what I'm gonna do is take the remains and then I put them in a little strainer, which will only be used for ashes, and I'll go in a dishwasher every time after that, so that way it can be done again. So the ashes go in here, and I strain it out into the bowl, so that way I don't get any of the big pieces. And then that's what I'll be using for the jewelry. I got the two-pot epoxy. A two-pot epoxy cost me like 90 bucks. Because I got the big jars, because I want to be able to make a bunch of this stuff again and again. I can make the dice holder without ashes, that's for darn sure. So you don't have to have, which I'm going to be making and doing at the store. Dennis and I own a card shop in North Providence on Mineral Spring Avenue, 1800 Mineral Spring Avenue. It's called the Sports Den. And I play Magic there. And so we used to take my dog. My backstory on that is we used to take my pet, Wilbur, there. And he used to be the mascot type thing. He would go downstairs, and while I was playing Magic, he would just either go lay in a corner, or he'd go and see everybody, kind of give them, you know, stand next to him a little bit, see if they pet him. If they pet him, you know, that was great. If they didn't, he'd go move on to the next person. He got to know who wanted to pet him and who didn't want to pet him. So the people that wanted to pet him, he'd definitely go to him. You know, hi. And the people he didn't, he would just move on to the next. He never kind of pretty much bothered anybody. He was an older dog. So I inherited him, and when he passed away, of course I cremated him, and I kept some of the ashes. I put some in the ocean, and I decided that I wanted to make the dye and some jewelry with the cremations, because I thought it would be kind of cool to be able to have. I've seen a bunch of it and online, and when I went to price it out, it was really expensive. I mean, I know they're professionals, and I know they have a big store, and they, you know what I mean, like, and all that, but it's quite expensive. And you know, to add that extra expense to somebody kind of sucks to me, because you already, first of all, having a funeral, a wake, and everything else, and then you're having to cremate somebody. I mean, me just cremating Mike, which is a person, of course, it cost $6,000, and that was no other arrangements. That was just the cremation. So just the cremation costing $6,000 was kind of like, what the hell, you know? No wake, no anything else, because he didn't want any of that stuff. Yeah. Oh.